Let me ask you something. When you go to a restaurant, do you care what brand of stove the chef used? Do you care what kind of refrigerator they use to keep things cold? Of course not. You care how the food tastes. You care how the meal makes you feel. So why is the music industry, especially the sync licensing world, obsessing over how music is made instead of focusing on what really matters, how it sounds and how it makes people feel? So today I want to challenge a mindset that I believe is holding our industry back. This fear, this paranoia about AI. Hi folks, good to see you again. I'm a professional composer. I've got a background in IT and cloud technologies. I've worked in both the creative world and the tech worlds for decades. And right now, I've got a side business where I compose music for film and TV, and I've done quite well. I've spent years learning composition, arranging, playing, producing, and yes, I've learned how to use AI tools like Suno, Udio, ChatGPT, Grok, Perplexity, Claude. There's just a lot of them out there. I know how to integrate these tools into my day job and my music job. They help my workflow. They don't hurt it. But here's the key. As far as music goes, I have not submitted any AI-assisted music to my music clients. Not because I'm afraid to, but because I respect their current policies and their risk tolerance. They've trusted me with their brand for several years, and I take that very seriously. And when the time is right, I'll bring these tools into play, but I'll do it transparently and ethically. So let's be honest, I think the fear around AI and music isn't just about the tech, it's about emotions. I've said for years, emotion is the enemy of critical thinking. Music is tied to our identity. If a machine can help create music, where does that leave us as composers? It feels threatening, like the ground is shifting under us. And for those that spent 10, 20, or 30 years learning harmony, counterpoint, orchestration, all those things, mixing, it's hard not to feel like all of that is being dismissed by these tools. But let me be clear, your experience, your ear is not obsolete. Those are your advantages. AI might be able to generate musical ideas quickly, but it doesn't know which ones are any good. It doesn't know what works in a film scene. It can't mix under dialogue. It can't follow a creative brief or interpret subtext. Yet, maybe. You still have the taste. You have the feel. You have the instincts. That's what makes you a composer. So let's go back to that restaurant thing I just brought up. Nobody asks what kind of stove was used. They care if the food is delicious. They care if it hits the spot. Music is no different. I've done videos in the past talking about how people like music not because of the quality of the music, but because of how the song makes them feel. It makes them think about a certain experience, good or bad, in their life, and they associate that song, quality aside, with those emotions. So, as far as TV goes, the audience doesn't know whether your melody came from a guitar, or a MIDI keyboard, or a text prompt in Suno. They care whether or not it moves them. That applies to listeners. That applies to music editors. Now, to those who say, yeah, but AI doesn't have a soul, I get it, and I agree. Although I will say that if you listen to AI-generated music, it can sound very emotional. So I think the claims that AI has no soul, while technically accurate, may be musically inaccurate. Yeah, I get it. AI doesn't feel the joy. AI doesn't experience grief. It doesn't fall in love or suffer loss, but you do. And if you're the one choosing the moments, arranging the cues, shaping the dynamics, then your emotion is in the track, even if AI helped generate a starting point for you. I've heard human-made tracks that felt soulless. There's a lot of it out there today on the radio. I've heard AI-assisted tracks refined by a composer that absolutely hit the nail on the head. Emotion doesn't come from the tool. It comes from the intention. Now let's talk about one of the most common objections I've heard. AI models are trained on stolen music. It's unethical to use them. It's a fair concern. As composers, we care deeply about our ownership, about integrity, and I fully support transparency in training data and a legal framework for ethical model development. But let's also acknowledge a reality. Human musicians have always learned by imitation. We borrow progressions, grooves, voicings, sometimes lyrics or melodies. We are influenced by what we've heard, and sometimes unconsciously or subconsciously. The difference between influence and imitation is real, but it applies to humans and AI alike. And if we're going to critique AI, we also need to reflect on how we've learned and created ourselves. Another big objection is fairness. AI can learn in seconds what took me years to master. Well, you're right, it's not fair. Technology changes. It always does and always will. But technological change has never been fair. Photographers had to adjust to smartphones. Graphic designers have to adapt to Canva. Video editors adapting to AI-based tools. And here's the thing, AI can generate the content, but it can't generate taste. It doesn't know how to serve a scene. It doesn't know how to build tension. You do, and that's your edge. Now, to my friends, music library owners out there, especially those of you running lean operations with small teams, you guys know who you are. You spent years building your catalog, curating quality, protecting your relationships with clients and supervisors, and I completely, wholeheartedly understand your hesitation around AI-assisted music. One legal dispute could disrupt your business. In today's climate, uncertainty is certainly a risk. But here's what's changing. We know now that the Copyright Office allows registration of works that involve meaningful human authorship, even if AI was used. And then most recently, ASCAT, BMI, SOCAN, they've updated their policies to allow AI-assisted registrations. So the conversation is evolving and evolving quickly. So guys, I'm certainly not asking you to lower your standards. I'm asking you to just explore frameworks. Ask your composers to disclose AI use. It's inevitable. Let's be smart, work smarter, not harder. Ensure that human authorship is significant and provable. Request documentation if needed that AI-generated audio, if used, is legally permissible. That's not reckless, that's being responsible. And maybe doing another video just on potential legal wording that can be used and added to contracts to make sure that everyone is covered from a rights perspective. So, look, like I said, I have not submitted any AI-assisted music libraries. Not yet. But not because I think they're invalid. I'm just waiting for the right moment. I want to build trust, not push boundaries. But I am paying attention, I haven't for a while, and I believe the future is collaborative. Human plus machine, composer plus curator, innovation plus integrity, composer plus library owner. I'm not saying AI will replace composers. I'm saying composers who embrace AI will replace those that don't. How many times have I said that in the past? So let's stop being afraid. Let's start being intentional. Make sense? As always, thanks for listening. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit me up. Positive, negative, you know how it goes. Drop a comment there, like, subscribe, do all the things. The future of music is coming either way. I'd rather be involved shaping it versus running away or hiding from it. Thanks for watching. Now go make something great.